Hey witches, this is Dawn from Aurora Dawn, and it is August 3rd, 2019. I've had several people ask me about the Self-Mastery for Witches course that I offer, and I thought I would do this video to go over the syllabus for the course and give you a little bit more of an insight and idea of what it's all about. Okay, but first I want to take a drink of iced tea. It is summertime, people. It is summertime. Oh, and thanks to Naomi for the glasses. I know it's a wine glass, but I thought it was appropriate. It's very pretty. So thanks to Naomi for those. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about this course, and I've got my notes down here so I don't forget anything. I stay on track, and it also reduces a lot of ums. I guess I tend to say a lot of ums. Okay, so let's get started here. Let's see. I used to do a lot of classes in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, close to where I live now. And 2008, there was this massive flood. I mean, super out of the normal, crazy flood. And it took out the little shop. So it was sad. Then I spent several years, that was in 2008, so I spent several years working on myself. And I don't know, I went through a transition. It's called menopause. I need to do some videos on that because wow, is that crazy. That is crazy, and there's some things you need to know in order to make it easier. So maybe I'll do a video on that. Transitioning to crone. Wow. Okay, so anyway, I lost that that classroom, and I love sitting down and communicating the principles and ideas in this course to people face to face, because then I can see what's going on. I can see by their expressions on their face whether they're getting it, whether they're perplexed, and so then I can work with them. And then there's that group energy that, you know, all these people in this room working together, transforming their lives. So I'm now to the point where I want to offer this over the internet and just see what happens. So I am doing that now, and I am trying to get together all the technical stuff that has to be put together to make that happen. So basically it's going to be just through my email and through PayPal, and we'll make it work, because Gmail is just absolutely amazing at organizing, which I need. Oh my God, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at organizing, so I need all the help I can get, and Gmail is very good. So, but anyway, let's get into this. First off, I want to talk about my story. Why did I put this together? Where did it come from? And so just so you have a better understanding of where I'm coming from. So first off, I moved up here to Iowa in 2002. And like many people, I signed up for, back in those days, for a movie rental. I signed up for it. I filled out the application. The guy behind the counter said I needed to fill out this application so they would have my information online or in their files. So I filled it out, and I just felt the guy was kind of weird. He wasn't acting weird. It just, his presence was distasteful. Can I say that? Does that make sense? It didn't feel comfortable, felt a little toxic, a little something, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because, you know, people are struggling with their stuff, and sometimes their energy is toxic, so I didn't really think anything of it. So I gave him my information. All right, so what happened was that 2003 was okay, but I got into 2004, and my life was seriously falling apart. Now, I moved up here without a job. I left a very well-paying job to be up here. And I won't go into the details. It'll make this video way too long. It's going to be too long already as it is. So let's save that for another day. But I had to trust the universe that I would find some sort of income. And I did get a job at a gym teaching yoga. And then that developed into yoga and Pilates. And then I got that, the gym I was working in was sold, so they moved me to another gym. And I was teaching some classes, and that kind of fizzled out, and I was mainly just a salesperson. And then we had a new manager come in, and he was taking all of the new customers. So I had no income, because basically that was my income, was commission off of those people coming in. So it was time to go. I could see the writing on the wall, definitely. So after that, I struggled. I tried to do, teach yoga and Pilates on my own. There was a massage therapy office that had an extra room, and they wanted to offer Pilates. So I did that, and they advertised to their people, and two, maybe three people would show up every once in a while. Not enough to, pay the bills and put gas in my car and food on my table. And I tried a bunch of other different places, and nothing ever just panned out. Nothing actually worked well enough for me to take care of myself. And so all of that just kind of fizzled out. So I was on my own, and I was reaching 3 months behind on my rent. Holy freaking cow. I've never been here before. I don't know what to do. What's going on? What is happening? This is 2004. So I moved up here 2002, and now it's 2004. My life is falling apart. I'm having bad luck every time I turn around. It's just one thing after another. Breaking things, cups, plates, light bulbs, a mirror. Oh my God. Bad dreams. Never have bad dreams. Hardly ever. I shouldn't say never. Maybe every 10 years I'll have a bad dream. I was having them more often. Felt like I was being watched. I could see, when I meditate, I could see these dark forms coming into my apartment. I am now freaking out because I've always been able to find a job. It's been easy. Here it was 3 months now, and my classes had fallen apart, and I was behind in rent, and my credit cards were maxed out. I was absolutely freaking out. So I went to my witchy friends, right? And I asked them, is there something going on here? I feel like I'm being attacked. And one of them said, oh, it's your self-limiting beliefs. That's all. Nothing to it. She walked away. So, okay, this is not, I don't think this is self-limiting beliefs in the way and attacking myself. And though a lot of times that's what it is, and people, that's what they think. They think somebody is attacking them when it's really themselves. So I'm not against that. I know when I'm attacking myself. I know when I am interfering with my own progress. This was not it. Something was happening. And so I turned to another friend of mine, Steffi, and she did a reading on me. And let me back up real quick. In a meditation, I wanted to see what was going on. And I saw this very tall man dressed in black, had black hair. And he just had this smirk on his face, like he had me. Like he had control of me, like I was his puppet. And it was kind of freaky. So I asked Steffi, I didn't tell her anything about this guy. She did a reading, and she described the same guy. Okay, so we're on to something. There is something here. There is something going on. And it's always good to get a second opinion on these things, because maybe it is just you. Maybe it is just me. So, but make sure it's somebody who's talented, who can do a reading and actually read your energy and read into, see what's going on, and if you know what I mean, it's just better that way because they can be objective. So Steffi said that she would come over, and she did, and teach me how to cleanse and clear my house. Now, I normally just go through with the sage, with the white sage and the smudge stick and just cleanse the house. But evidently it was not enough to get this guy to stay away from me. So she walked me through it, and I'll do a video on that if you want. But she walked me through it, and she taught me to cut off his energy and to surround myself with shields, put up my own shields, and it worked. It worked, but only for a short time. Okay, so now I am putting up my own shields, and it's working. I keep cutting his energy off, and it works. My shields, and shielding my apartment, cleansing and clearing all the time, because maybe it needs to build up, get stronger, right? But I realize there's something about me that is allowing him to attach that energy and mess with my life. So but I needed a job. I wasn't quite destitute, but I was desperate. I was looking at jobs, trying to find a job, and I realized he was interfering. So a friend of mine said, hey, we have an opening. And it was right in my field of education, which is mechanical engineering technician and industrial engineering technician, which is not quite the engineer, but we do the grunt work for the engineers, which is, to me, is way more fun. But anyway, so I knew that if I held that job opening possibility in my mind, he would try to interfere and make sure that I could not get it. So I held thoughts in my mind of getting a job with McDonald's, getting a job, at some other place, like stocking shelves or something. Just something that is not the job I was looking for. And I think that's why I got this job. So I was making an income. Oh, holy cow. And I immediately went out on the internet, started searching for spiritual life coach. I wanted to learn how to be a spiritual life coach because I felt like if I learned how to facilitate something like what I'm going through for somebody else, if I could help them heal their toxic beliefs, self-limiting beliefs that keep them restricted, that keep them from being successful, then I can do that on myself. And this was amazing. I did find holistic learning centers, it's plural, holistic learning centers, and I signed up, and the teacher was the owner and founder of the business, the company. And he said, you first have to go through the program as like a client would. So I went through it. Oh man, wow. I felt myself getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And now it was easy to cut off his energy. And in fact, it got to a point where he could no longer reconnect, even though he tried many times. And then he finally gave up. But that it so blew my mind that I had to do something. I had to teach this. So I continued on and got my certification as a spiritual life coach. And I developed this course, which is for witches, right? I feel like a lot of times witches get left out. So I wanted to have this course specifically designed for witches, for our needs, because I feel that witches are very empathic and they're very sensitive to the shit that's going on in the world. And I feel like we become targets sometimes because we're different. And so then people want to attack that. That's where, we get racism and all that, is because, so this person's different. So why? Why are we so afraid of somebody who's different? So I really wanted to help witches to become strong enough to be the master of their life, to control what happens to them and how they respond to the world, and to see the world in a way that allows them to be in control. Because a lot of it is paradigm shifting, which, you know, you've spent, however old you are, you've spent that time believing the world is this way. And once you realize it's really this way, then there's a whole new stream of energy that comes in, because now you realize, hey, I really am powerful enough to make changes in my life, to make things happen that I want to make happen. Okay, so that's where this comes from. All right, now I'm going to scroll down. Okay, I just wanted to mention real quick that this is not shamanic work. But it is a way of healing the soul fragments. So a lot of soul retrieval that is done in shamanism, that this is the foundation for it. This will allow you to do soul retrieval on yourself. But I don't teach you how to do it for other people. So, you know, definitely if you're into shamanism, this is a wonderful, incredible foundation. And then you definitely want to go into, like, you know, I guess there are apprenticeships where you can learn from a shaman. And it's just, having this as the foundation is absolutely phenomenal, because you need to make these shifts first to understand yourself. And then when you get into learning how to develop your abilities and help other people, you know, soul retrieval for other people, you already have that foundation. So it's awesome. It's really beautiful. And I want to go through the syllabus for you. But first thing is, there are forms I need you to fill out. There is a confidentiality agreement between the student and myself that I will not divulge your secret information, anything that you share with me about your trauma, your pain. I will not share with anybody else unless there's a court order, or unless there's some sort of legal thing that's going on, then I will have to divulge. But otherwise, there's no reason for me to divulge your information. I don't make fun of my students anywhere. I don't do that. It's not good. So there are forms that I need you to fill out to let me know a little bit more about you, so that I can get a sense for where you are at and where you want to go. And then the first lesson, the first class, we will go over some other forms that'll help you get started. So we need a baseline assessment. Where are you right now on your pain level, on different areas of your life? So we need to get that down. So then later on, we're going to revisit that, and you're going to see progress, and you're going to be so ecstatic. Okay, so the first lesson is called Facing the Shadow. And this is where I explain to you what the shadow is, and your power, your energy that you can use to connect with your shadow. And really, it's about creating this relationship with your shadow self, because many of us are afraid of what's in our shadow. And if you continue that relationship of fear, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to see you, you make me scared, so I'm running away from you. If you don't stop that, you will not be able to find the jewels, the gems, and not be able to heal what is in there. If you don't understand what's in your shadow, you won't be able to heal. So that's basically what that is. Now I want you to know that there is homework. And I put homework in here because it allows me to see whether you are getting the information properly. So I am involved all the way from beginning to end. I'm going to send you a video of the lesson so you can read the lesson and send you the lesson. Sorry. I will send you the lesson in your email plus the video. I should be able to do that. Okay. Sorry, brain fart. I have to figure that out. Oh my God. So I will send that to you, and then you will go over it in a timely fashion. You have to keep up. You have to keep up. This is once a week. And then I will have a Facebook group where we will all discuss the lessons, and I will go over the homework to make sure you got it. And I need your homework ahead of time, because if you're stumped on something, I want to make sure that I mention it in our live chat in Facebook. And then you can ask me questions, anything you're struggling with or not understanding. Okay, so the first exercise in that lesson, is to create sacred space. And it's basically smudging and cleansing your area. Whether you use incense, some people don't like the smell of sage. Some people don't like the smell of sage. And there are other alternatives. You can actually use a spray bottle and, spray your area. That works too. You don't have to use smoke. I know some people are allergic to smoke and they can't have incense or a fire or anything like that because it makes their lungs flare up. So there are alternatives to burning sage, okay? So we'll discuss that. We'll go over that, and you'll do that exercise. You want to create sacred space whenever you are working on yourself. So it's a good idea to create that sacred space before you do the exercises in this book, okay? Lesson 2 is about your emotions, and what it is we aren't taught that emotions are very valuable. We are taught that emotions make you illogical and make you choose things that you wouldn't normally choose if you were thinking logically. Well, that ain't true. So I'm going to explain to you what emotions really are and how to interpret what they mean. So I'm angry. Somebody said something to me and now I'm really angry. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, so, anger is a self-protection energy. And if somebody is violating your personal boundaries, you're going to get angry. That's the way you respond in order to get people to get out of your space and to respect you. You get angry. Enough. Stop doing that. And they'll back off, right? If you're a welcome mat, they're going to keep violating those boundaries. And a lot of people are afraid to show, here, these are my boundaries. You need to respect them. They're afraid to show that because they don't want to create conflict. That's me. I don't like conflict. They don't want to create conflict. They don't want the other person to be pissed off. They don't want the relationship to go away. They're afraid of that. So they end up acting like a welcome mat. Well, when you feel anger and you suppress that anger, it's going to turn into something else. So anyway, I talk a lot about that in this lesson, and how to interpret it and then what to do to process it. And if you watch my videos, I've gone over that, where you breathe and then just relax. Okay, that's a big part of it. So anyway, that's the exercise, is processing your emotions. And when we do that, you will practice. Every single lesson from here on out will be, okay, what are you feeling? What emotions are you feeling? How intense are they? And we're going to go through step by step. Lesson 3 is about nurturing your emotional needs. Oh my God. This is the most amazing, the most powerful tool I have to teach you that anybody could ever learn. Doing this exercise of nurturing your own emotional needs will get you to a place of so much self-confidence and so much self-love that you don't need anybody to behave a certain way in order to make you happy. So if there's somebody in your life who's a big asshat, and they get you all riled up and upset, doing this exercise, using this tool, will get you to a place where you can recognize that that's the way this person is. They're just out to wear their asshat with everybody, and that's the way it is. And maybe I need to change directions and avoid this person in order to protect myself. So nurturing your own emotional needs goes a long way in returning your power back to you. And it helps you to become accepting. Now, I've heard people talk about we need to be more tolerant and get rid of this racism by being more tolerant. And no. You don't want to be tolerant. Tolerance says, I still don't like you, but I'm just not going to say anything. I'm still hating on you inside, but I'm not going to say anything to your face. All right? So that's tolerance. Tolerance is, to me, it's not compassionate. It's not good. It's not where we need to be. We as a people need to be in a place where we accept people. All right. So you're homosexual. Great. All right. I'm not. That's okay. We can be friends. So you're from Somalia. Okay. That's interesting. Let's be friends, and I'd like to find out a little bit more about your country. You're Muslim. Okay. I'm a witch. Are you okay with that? That could be a little tricky, but at least I'm in a place where I can accept people for who they are. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, what about the Hitlers and the bad people that come in and want to kill people and do bad things? There's an acceptance. I recognize they are a bad person. They are acting out according to what they feel is necessary in their contract and whatnot, but that doesn't make it okay. That does not mean I cannot stand up and say, no, you're going to stop this, because I have the power now to do that. And we as a people, the more people, human beings in this country that can stand up, not in their childlike ego defenses, but in an emotionally mature, self-mastered way, stand up together and say, no, that is so powerful. So much more powerful than you libtards, you dumbasses, or you deplorables, you're idiots. Okay, that kind of the childlike ego defenses, it just makes you look stupid. All right, it makes you look like a juvenile. That is not the way to make changes. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. I gotta get back. Sorry. I might actually cut all that out. Lesson 4. I'm going to talk about spell work and why your spells are not working. This is where I teach you the laws of beliefs. Your beliefs are in your subconscious mind, and you don't know what you don't know. So whatever's in your subconscious mind is not conscious. You don't know where it's coming from. So you might be saying, why is this happening to me again? Why can't I ever get it right? Why do I keep messing this up? Those kind of questions are because you're not conscious of what's in your subconscious mind. You don't know what you don't know. And this lesson is going to teach you about the laws of beliefs and how they operate and how your ego can get in control. And have you ever heard of, if you judge somebody, you're seeing something in them that is in you that you dislike? Well, I don't know if I totally agree with that. Maybe in some circumstances, but a lot, it doesn't. I'm going to teach you in this lesson an exercise. We're going to go over this exercise where you can see through a little twist in that what is actually what you need to take care of, what you're avoiding. And I'm going to share this exercise with you so you can see right in front of your eyes. This is what I need to work on. And I'll tell you what, you do that, you do this exercise, and you'll be blown away. So, oh, it's me. It's me. There's nothing wrong with them. And you get back to being accepting of people, right? And you know how easy it is to misunderstand? Somebody says something. I got a story to tell you. Skip, my sweetheart, love of my life, he was working at the same gym I was. And the new owner the guy that bought the place, took Skip out to lunch. Skip is very good at business. He's got a bachelor's degree, has had businesses, runs businesses years and years and years. He's had several right now. I've lost track. There's so many. But he went to lunch with this guy because Skip's a very business-oriented individual. So the new owner wanted to know how things worked. What systems do they have in place to run the business, to make it work? And when he got back, everybody gave him the cold shoulder. They were whispering in the corner, looking at him, and like, what do you want? And just really ugly to him. And there's this one guy everybody called Coach. He was there, and he was kind of like instigator of all of this. So Skip and Coach are good friends. What's going on? So he took him aside and said, okay, what's happening? What's going on here? And Coach said, well, we all think that you're throwing us all under the bus and going to have us all tell this new guy to have us all fired and bring in new people. And Skip said, that's not what we talked about. He wanted to know how the system worked, how the check-in process, the signing people up, and the commission and stuff like that. So Coach was like, oh. But you see, it's so easy to misunderstand what's going on and what somebody's doing and what somebody's saying. So you need to be clear and know where your judgment comes in and where the person is just being something different than what you thought they were being. Okay. Lesson 5 is deeper into your ego and what your ego is designed to do. A lot of people, death to the ego. Hinduism and yoga. When I was in, my mom would take me to a couple of ashrams, and they would talk about the ego. It was bad. It's horrible. It's evil. You need to get rid of it. And you know what? No. There's a place for the ego. So the ego is a tool that you need to be in control of. You need to control your ego. When your ego flares up, you need to know how to handle it, what the ego is trying to do, so you can put the ego in its place. See objectively what's really, truly happening. And when you get to that place, then you can make a decision that's not going to ruin relationships. You can make a decision that is compassionate and accepting of the other person, but in a strong, confident way of repairing whatever damage is being done. But you first have to see objectively what is really happening. And the ego can help you understand what is being triggered. So the ego has a place. It's important. Lesson 6. Okay, lesson 6 is about how you model your parents. Now, I've had students who say, oh, fuck that. No way. My parents were evil. I did everything in my power to make sure I did not model them. Okay, that's fine. But you were an infant when you started modeling your parents. You were an infant. You had no way of saying no because you were a clean slate. You were absorbing everything, and you had no reference in being so. You had no reference, so you couldn't say, no, I don't think that was good, so I'm not going to model that. That's bad behavior. That's, as a 2-year-old, no, that doesn't happen because the 2-year-old doesn't have enough experience to understand, this behavior is good and this behavior is bad. You're absorbing everything without question. Okay, so then when you get old enough to recognize that the behavior of your parents is not something you want to model, you've already absorbed a crap ton of beliefs about yourself and about the environment that is now your foundation and is in your subconscious, so you don't know what you don't know. So when you finally get to the age of, dad's an alcoholic, I'll never touch alcohol, great, that's wonderful. But what about all the other behaviors you picked up that you're not aware of? Because you're unconscious. You don't know what you don't know. So that part of you is in your shadow and it's unconscious. And the shadow is where all your subconscious is, and your subconscious controls your breathing, your heartbeat. So it's not all bad stuff in your shadow. All your gifts that you're not using, you're unaware of, are also in your shadow. These gifts could help you if you knew they were there, but you have self-limiting beliefs blocking it. So, lesson 7. So the exercises is exploring how you today, and this, actually, I'm going back to lesson 6, modeling your parents. A lot of, when you get old enough, you figuring it out, hey, this is behavior I don't want, and you might be able to make changes. Usually you can make changes if there isn't a lot of traumatic emotion anchoring that belief to your subconscious mind. If you're able to surface something, and it's a bad habit, and it's a belief about you, it comes from a belief about yourself, but it's anchored with traumatic experiences that has a lot of emotional baggage with it, you're going to have a very difficult time healing it and releasing it so that you can get rid of that habit. But this course is going to teach you how to, even those very painful experiences, how to resolve that and heal it so that you can get on with your life, right? Okay. Lesson 7 is entanglement. It's about how we become over-connected with people. When you acknowledge that, that becomes conscious in your relationships, where, oh, I can see here I'm over-connected. It comes from family. And even if you had a good family experience, that over-connectedness that you learned as a child, maybe it was a good experience, that's fine, but you're carrying it over in adulthood into bad, toxic relationships. And if you're seeing where you can't stand this person, but you can't get rid of them, and every time they come into your life, you're overwhelmed with emotions, you're overconnected with that person. So I'm going to teach you how to detangle yourself emotionally from other people. And then you will see your true identity. Your identity as an individual that is all wrapped up in other people. And once you detangle, then you start seeing yourself for who you are, who you really are. And it's amazing. Okay. Where am I? I got lost. Okay. Lesson 9 is the creme de la creme. And the reason being is this is where you get to change those programs, those toxic beliefs, those self-limiting beliefs that keep tripping you. Every time you try to do something, you get tripped up and you fall on your face. And every time you try and do this, it fizzled out. Every time you try to get a relationship with somebody you know is good for you, it doesn't work out. Or you are always attracting the wrong Mr. or Mrs. Right into your life. You want to have a good relationship with somebody, but you keep bringing in toxic people, emotionally absent or unavailable. They are toxic, but for some reason they keep coming into your life, right? So this is where you make changes, very powerful changes. And once you do this, and it's really okay. So the next 4, I think there's 4 classes. So for the first time we meet for lesson 9, we're going to go over all of the information, and I'll get you started. I'll get you set up. And then the next 3 classes, we're going to dive deep into your doo-doo. Lovely. And you're going to need me, because you don't know what you don't know, and your ego has hoodwinked you for however old you are. And it's just so much easier to have somebody who's objective, who knows how to pull stuff out of you to get a clearer picture of the core. We want the core. We want to disrupt the foundation and relay it down. We want to get to the root of what is causing all of your discomfort, your inability to live life with joy and to manifest those things that bring you joy. So we need to dive deep into your doo-doo to get to the foundation. And once we do that, then it's very clear when you'll find that when you're triggered, you're upset. It could be hurt, could be frustrated, could be angry, could be all sorts of different things. Whatever the emotions are that are bubbling up, you can then trace them back to that root belief and realize, oh, it's just that belief. And I'm going to unplug from that and plug into the one that I created that I want to manifest in my life. So it's important to be conscious because you don't know what you don't know. So once you surface this stuff and lay out a plan of, okay, this is toxic and I'm going to replace it with this, then we trace it back to the foundational belief, toxic belief, that is being engaged at that moment. And then you have the conscious choice of unplugging it and choosing to respond from an emotionally matured, self-mastered level of consciousness rather than your childlike ego defenses. Okay, so that's it. And I'm with you the entire way, and you do need to keep up. If you fall behind, the momentum gets lost, and it makes it harder. I don't want you to give up, though. I will do everything in my power to help you get through the course, make it to the end. Alrighty, so this course lasts 3 months. We meet once a week, and I will do a live in Facebook, in a Facebook group, so that you can ask me questions and we can work things out, and I can go over the homework I'll get everybody's homework in, and I can see where people are, maybe Sally doesn't understand question number 2. I can tell by her answer that she didn't quite get the message that I was trying to get across. So I'm going to go over that one in the Facebook Live. So we'll meet once a week to do that, ask questions. And the cost for the entire course, if you pay it in full ahead of time, is $270 for 3 months. This is 12 lessons, 12 classes, 9 lessons, but the last one takes a lot of time and work to get it just right, so it'll work for you. So if you pay it off all ahead of time, it's $270. Otherwise, I will allow you to pay $100 per month to take this course. So the best thing to do is to email me at, if you're interested, at auroramagic@gmail.com. And I'll have that down below. That's Aurora, like Aurora Borealis, and magic with a K at Gmail. So auroramagic@gmail.com. Just let me know that you're interested. And I want a target date of September 1st, 2019. So please let me know. And if you have any issues or any problems with getting in this course or schedule wise or anything like that, please let me know. And I will work with you as best I can. Okay? So that's it. This course is transformational. It's magical. It's amazing. It will set you free and will just, I don't know. It's just amazing. I can't say enough about it. It has transformed my life and has done wonders for me. So, and my relationships are incredible now. And just, but we'll get more into that when we get into the course about how to improve relationships. So anyway, I'm going to let you go because I got to get going. And I will see you next time. And I love you all. I'm trying not to say guys. But I want to be respectful. It's easy. I love you all. And I hope to see you again. Blessed be.